We left Lamlash on the 25th of May for Millport on Greater Cumbria. This was only a short trip, and we thought we would be able to sail there, even in the light winds. But after tacking back and forth for a while, we gave up and motored past Little Cumbria and into Millport. At high water, the rocks guarding either side of the entrance cover, and you have to make sure you're on the correct approach. We picked up a visitor's mooring. In Scotland, these are almost always either green or blue. Millport seemed incredibly busy for such a small island, but it is very close to Glasgow and has a good ferry service. On the mainland there was something of a contrast in power generation services. After mooring up, it seemed quite noisy, which we couldn't understand until we noticed there was a seal colony on the rocks behind us. The old garrison house has now been restored and is a coffee shop and museum. Millport also claims to have the smallest cathedral in Britain, the Cathedral of the Isles. On the 26th we decided to go for a sail round Bute. The wind was about force 5 and was being funnelled by the hills, giving a beat north and a run back south. We moored for lunch just above the Cowles of Bute. For most of the time we were sheltered from the wind, but every few minutes a 30-knot gust would blow down off the hills, scattering our lunch everywhere. The Narrows were seriously narrow, so in view of the 30-knot gusts, we decided to motor through following a local yacht. On the run back, we were surprised to see 5 big Maersk container ships that we were more used to seeing at Felixstowe. They were laid up pending an upturn in the economy. On the 27th, we headed back down the Clyde to Troon. There was little wind to start with, so we motor sailed for most of the time. It was very cold and we needed the heater on whilst we got ourselves sorted out. The 28th was spent doing washing, cleaning the boat up and topping up fuel, and we exchanged the Caligas cylinder. It wasn't completely empty, but we decided to change it whilst we were certain of getting a replacement. We posted the faulty Navionics check back to Navionics on the promise that a new one would be sent to my home address by return. On the 29th we caught the train to Glasgow and a coach out to the airport. 6 hours after leaving the marina, we were back home in Suffolk.